Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2020-21 season. My name is Dan and today we're talking captain. So every single week from game week 1 onwards, I'm going to be telling you which captain I think you should be picking each week. And we're going to start here, we're going to start today. And I'm going to show you 5 options that you might have for captaincy this week. And if you pick one of these, I think you're on for a good thing. If you're picking someone outside of these things, then perhaps I wouldn't recommend that so much. But yeah, I'm going to go through that today. And before I get started, I do want to give a quick shout out to Fantasy Football Hub, who have very kindly sponsored this video. If you're looking for captains and things like that, a website like Fantasy Football Hub is super helpful because you can sort of look at the stats, look at expected goals, you can look how many shots a certain player is having at the moment, how many key passes they're making, and stuff like that. And their Opta-Stats tool is super useful for helping you pick that perfect captain. But aside from that, I'm going to try and tell you very personally who I think is going to be the best captain. So we're going to go through my top 5 picks for this week. So we're going to start off with Jamie Vardy. Now, on the face of it, Jamie Vardy against a newly promoted West Brom looks very good. Jamie Vardy's got a good goal record as well versus West Brom. The problem is that, Leicester didn't look so good at the end of last season. I don't think Leicester have recruited particularly well. Jamie Vardy is obviously getting a little bit older now. I mean, if you ask me this time, maybe in December of last year, Jamie Vardy was the man to get. He was the guy to captain, and a fixture like this would be fantastic for him. But unfortunately, it doesn't look so good now, so I'm not fully confident in him. But I still think it could happen. There could be something there. So he's worth a mention, but he's not someone I'd be going for immediately. Number 4 is Harry Kane. Now, Kane has scored a brace in 4 out of his last 5 games against Everton, which is a really interesting stat. So does that mean that Everton is one of Kane's favourite places to play against? I think it does. Even more interestingly, Everton haven't beaten Spurs in the Premier League since 2012. So Spurs has got a really good record against Everton. Kane has got a really good record against Everton as well. And the thing is, Spurs has sort of bedded in. They've had a little bit of time to sort out tactics and stuff like that. And whereas Everton, they've got a whole new midfield. Holgate is injured now. They've sort of got a Coleman at right back who's a little bit slow. There are some vulnerabilities there in the Everton team, and although Everton have recruited really, really well, they've got basically an entire new midfield. So I don't know their first game how well they're going to do, and a team like Spurs could take advantage of that. A player like Harry Kane, who likes playing against Everton anyway, could take advantage of that. Obviously, Kane has not had a full pre-season. He's not played as many friendlies and stuff, so he's going to lack a bit of sharpness. So if you are concerned about Harry Kane's sharpness, I mean, that kind of showed in the England games as well. Son is a lot sharper right now. He's had more of a pre-season, and I think he scored 3 goals in 4 friendly games as well, but he was playing up front, so Take that with a pinch of salt, I guess. But Son is going to be a lot sharper, but Harry Kane seems to be the main guy who I'd be targeting from this particular fixture. My number 3 choice, the third best choice, I guess, is Timo Werner. This is probably the exciting pick. We know a little bit about Werner from his record in the Bundesliga. Absolute insane record in the Bundesliga. I mean, just look at those numbers. It's absolutely madness. If he can replicate that in the Premier League, then he's going to be an absolute steal at 9.5 and an excellent captaincy pick as well. Not just in this game week, but sort of throughout the season, he could be a really, really good pick there. Brighton, not a strong defensive team. Although they're sort of a lower middle table team, they're not a team that sort of sits back and defends. They do try and play football, so that does leave a little bit of an opportunity for some teams to score against them. And technically, Werner has already scored against Brighton this summer, just because they played a friendly match, Chelsea did, against Brighton, and Werner scored in them. So if he scored against them already, then can he do it again? I would say so. I think Werner is the best choice at Chelsea right now for a captain. I wouldn't really consider any other of Chelsea players for the captaincy armband this game week, just because Ziyech is injured now. Pulisic, he's just returning from an injury. Is he going to play the full 90 minutes? He's more likely to come off the bench, I guess. Havertz, I'd like to see Havertz bed in a little bit first. I know I'm having confidence in Werner to bed in immediately, but Havertz to not. But Havertz, I'm not sure exactly what position he's going to be playing in. He probably won't be in the advanced position where he was scoring a lot of goals last season. He'll probably be sitting a little bit deeper. So Werner is the guy who I'm watching. Like I said, he's got an insane record in the Bundesliga. Players playing in the Bundesliga usually transition quite well into the Premier League. You know, you can use Aubameyang as an example of that, who we might talk about in a minute. So yeah, Werner is a really good choice. But he's not the best choice, he's not the second best choice either. So let's move on. So my second best choice is Salah. I guess if you haven't got Salah, go for Mane as your sort of second choice. But no, I am going to talk about Salah in particular. I do prefer Salah to Mane. So newly promoted teams are always a target. You know, Salah is at home against Leeds, and you think, oh, Leeds just been promoted, they're going to be quite a good team to target. But I really would make sure that you don't underestimate Leeds too much. But on the other hand, Salah, when he's playing at home, especially against slightly weaker teams, he's usually, even against mid-table teams, Salah at home, it's usually you just put the armband on him. He's got such a great track record. Even if Salah doesn't play particularly well, he's on penalties, he's on set pieces and stuff like that. And even though a lot of people are saying, well, Salah's not, he was playing pretty badly at the end of last season. At the end of last season, he still was getting an average of a goal contribution every single game. So he wasn't really as bad as everyone was making him out to be. I know he hasn't scored in pre-season or anything, but Salah has not had a game where he's got something to play for in a very, very long time. Now we're starting a fresh new season. Liverpool will be keen to go back-to-back titles. There's suddenly all of this to play for again. Salah, I think he's going to come back into his element, and I think it's very harsh to judge a player as good as Salah based on a few games where there was literally nothing to play for. So, Salah back to his best. He's got such a good track record. He's always going to be in and around the best captaincy choices. So, Salah is sort of out of all of these numbers, I probably wouldn't consider anyone else other than Salah and my number one pick. The other guys are considerations, I guess, but I wouldn't be as confident as I am with a player like Salah and our number one pick. So I'll stop teasing it. We know who our number one pick is, and it's Aubameyang. So 16 of Aubameyang's 22 goals last season were against bottom half opposition. So he does like a goal against a team in the lower half of the table. Fulham just been promoted. That counts as a lower half of the table team, doesn't it? Fulham, last time they were in the Premier League, they didn't have a very good goal conceding record at all. They conceded so many goals last time we were in the Premier League, and you would expect that to happen again. They just Fulham aren't really the kind of team that can comfortably sit back and absorb pressure, which sort of allows teams to come onto them a little bit. And a team like Arsenal, who do have the firepower of Aubameyang, and an incredible player like Aubameyang, could really, really take advantage of that, and I'm pretty confident they will. Now, the concern is that a lot of people are saying is, well, Salah is playing a home game, whereas Aubameyang is playing this away game against Fulham. But what people fail to realise is if you look at the stats from Fulham last season, all of their home matches, they were sort of conceding or sort of 2-3 goals on each of their home matches, and it was their away games where they were sort of conceding fewer goals, maybe conceding none or one goal. If you look at all their Fulham's away games last season, they're all like sort of 0-0 draws, 1-0 wins, 1-0 losses, that kind of thing. Whereas their home games always had loads of goals. So it seems like Fulham play much more expansive football when they are at home, play a lot more confidently, which is going to open them up a lot. They may be scoring a couple of goals, Fulham. Maybe they'll score against Arsenal, and I think there's a good chance they will score against Arsenal. But more importantly, they're going to concede a few goals against Arsenal, and that's when Aubameyang is going to come in and absolutely smash it. So I'm really, really confident putting the armband on Aubameyang this week. The only thing is, and it's not a technical consideration at all, but Aubameyang, obviously, Arsenal versus Fulham, it's the first game on Saturday. So if it doesn't go well, it's going to ruin your entire weekend in terms of FPL. But if it does go well, you're going to be sitting there thinking, I've got a good score here. But you might be thinking, oh, if only I picked someone else, I could have got an even better score. So there is that psychological element with picking your captain on the first game, which obviously is a good tiebreaker, but technically, on paper, Aubameyang, I really truly feel is the best captain option for this game week. So that's who I'm going to go for, Aubameyang. No questions, straight armband on Aubameyang. I'm not going to try and be clever about it at all. And he's going to be my captain. So that is it for the video. Those are my captain choices for this game week. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you found this helpful in any way, please do give it a big thumbs up. If you're new around here, please do consider subscribing. I don't really have any subscriber goals other than maybe I'd like to get 50,000 subscribers by the end of the season, but but that's just so far away. But it would be really awesome if you can subscribe, and then every single week I'll tell you my favourite captains. Every single week I'll show you my game week draft teams, my team that I'm going to be going into each individual game week with, which, by the way, my final game week 1 team selection video will be out tomorrow. So yeah, get excited for that. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm thinking, my final decisions kind of thing. So yes, we'll revisit that tomorrow. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video. See you later, mates. Bye bye.